There's something I need to tell you, something that might change the way you see your entire life. But I need you to stay with me, because what I'm about to share isn't easy to hear. Somewhere inside you, buried so deep you've forgotten it exists, is a promise you made, a deal, a contract. You signed it when you were very young, too young to understand what you were agreeing to, too young to know it would follow you into every relationship, every job, every quiet moment alone with yourself for the rest of your life. And here's what breaks my heart. You've been keeping that promise faithfully, desperately, for years, maybe decades, even though it's costing you everything, even though the other side never kept their end of the deal. Today, we're going to find that contract. We're going to read what it says, and for the first time, you're going to have a choice about whether to keep honoring it. This is the shadow contract. And if you've ever wondered why you do the things you do, why you can't seem to stop certain patterns, why happiness feels dangerous, or why you're so tired of being who you've had to be, this might be the most important thing you ever hear. Stay with me, all the way to the end. I promise it will be worth it. The deal you don't remember making. Let me ask you something. Have you ever reacted to something small in a way that confused even you? Someone makes an offhand comment, and hours later, you're still turning it over in your mind, still feeling that tight knot in your chest, still hearing it echo. Or maybe you've noticed that every time something good happens, you wait, not with excitement, with dread, like you're holding your breath, waiting for the punishment that always follows, joy. Or perhaps, and this one cuts deep, you keep finding yourself in the same situations. Different faces, different names, different years, but the same exact pain. The partner who can't show up for you, the friend who takes and takes, the boss who makes you feel small, the voice in your head that says, you'll never be enough. What if I told you, none of this is random? What if there's a reason you keep ending up here? Not because you're broken, not because you're weak, not because something is wrong with you, but because a long time ago, in a moment you can barely remember, you made a deal, and you've been living by its terms ever since. This is what I call the shadow contract. What is a shadow contract? A shadow contract is an unconscious agreement. It's a deal your younger self made with the people, the circumstances, or the world around them in order to survive. Not just physically survive, emotionally survive, psychologically survive, to make sense of things that didn't make sense, to find safety in chaos, to create the illusion of control in situations where a child had none. Here's how it works. When you were young, your brain had one primary job: keep you alive, keep you connected to your caregivers, because without them, you would die. This isn't dramatic. This is biology. A human child is helpless for years. We need our caregivers, not just for food and shelter, but for the reflection that tells us who we are. So, what happens when those caregivers are inconsistent? When love feels conditional? When attention has to be earned? When a parent is overwhelmed, or absent, or angry, or lost in their own pain? The child's brain faces a terrible choice. Option 1, believe the caregiver is flawed, incapable, unsafe. But that's terrifying, because you depend on them. If they're the problem, there's nothing you can do. You're helpless. So, the brain chooses option 2. Believe that you were the problem, because if you're the problem, then you can fix it. If you can just figure out the right way to be, the right things to do, the right version of yourself to become, then maybe, finally, you'll get what you need. And so, the contract is written, not on paper, in the body, in the nervous system, in the deepest layers of implicit memory, the kind of memory that doesn't come with pictures or words, just feelings, impulses, automatic reactions, the kind of memory that makes you flinch before you think, That makes your heart race before you understand why. That makes you apologize before you've done anything wrong. Ud. The terms you agreed to. Let me show you what some of these contracts look like. And as I read them, I want you to notice if something tightens in your chest. Notice if something whispers, "That's me." Because recognition is the first step toward freedom. The perfectionist contract. I promise to never make mistakes. I promise to be flawless, to anticipate every need, to get it right the first time, every time. In return, I expect to finally be safe, to finally be worthy, to finally be enough. This contract often forms when love felt like a report card, when approval came with conditions, when a child learned that mistakes meant withdrawal, disappointment, or rage. The child concluded, "If I'm perfect, I'll be loved." And they've been chasing perfection ever since, exhausted, terrified of failure, unable to rest. Because rest feels like the beginning of rejection. The caretaker's contract. I promise to take care of everyone else's feelings, to sense what you need before you ask, to make myself responsible for your emotional state, to never be a burden. In return, I expect you to stay, to not fall apart, to love me back. This one forms when a child had to parent their parent, when they learned to read the room before they learned to read books, when a caregiver's stability depended on the child instead of the other way around. And now, decades later, they can't stop managing everyone around them. They feel responsible for how others feel, guilty when they rest, panicked when they can't fix someone's pain. Because the old contract says, if I stop caretaking, everyone leaves. I promise to need nothing, to take up no space, to shrink myself so small I disappear, to never ask for too much or anything at all. In return, I expect to be allowed to exist, to not be a burden, to not be too much. This contract forms when a child's needs were met with frustration, when they were told they were too much, too loud, too needy, too sensitive, too alive. So they learned to compress themselves, to apologize for existing, to put themselves last, always, automatically. And now they struggle to even name what they want. Because wanting feels dangerous. Wanting was the original crime. The performer's contract. I promise to achieve, to impress, to shine, to be exceptional, to make you proud. In return, I expect recognition. I expect the applause that feels like love. I expect that someday, finally, I'll have done enough. But that day never comes, does it? Because the goalpost moves. Every achievement reveals the next mountain, and the applause fades so fast. This contract forms when a child was loved for what they did, not who they were, when their worth was measured in trophies, grades, performances. They learned that being wasn't enough. You had to earn your place, and they're still earning, still performing, still waiting for permission to just be. The rebel's contract. I promise to reject before I'm rejected, to leave before I'm left, to build walls so high no one can reach me, to need no one. In return, I expect to never feel the devastation of abandonment again. I expect control. I expect safety through distance. This forms when connection became synonymous with pain, when the people who were supposed to stay left, when love was a setup for loss. The child concluded, closeness is danger, and now they push away the very intimacy they crave. They test, they sabotage, they keep one foot out the door, because at least that they can control. The hidden clauses. Here's where it gets even harder. These contracts don't just have obvious terms, they have hidden clauses. Fine print you didn't know you agreed to, conditions that only reveal themselves when you try to break free. Hidden Clause 1. I must not outgrow my role. If your contract was to be the family fixer, the peacekeeper, the good one, then growth can feel like betrayal. Setting boundaries triggers guilt. Prioritizing yourself feels selfish. Changing feels like abandoning everyone who depended on the old you. The clause whispers, if you change, you'll be alone. And so you stay small, even when it's killing you. Hidden clause 2. I must not fully receive love. If your contract says love must be earned, then unconditional love feels wrong. When someone loves you freely, without you performing, without you fixing, without you shrinking, it feels suspicious. It feels like a trap. They must not really know me. If they knew the real me, they'd leave like everyone else. So, you push, you test, you prove yourself right. Because being loved without earning it violates the contract. Hidden clause 3. I must not outshine the wounded parent. Some children unconsciously agreed to never surpass the parent who couldn't handle being surpassed. They dim their light. They sabotage at the finish line. They cap their success just below the level that would trigger a parent's envy, or shame, or collapse. Even if that parent is long gone, the clause remains. I will fail just enough to stay loyal. Hidden clause 4. I must stay loyal to the pain. This is perhaps the deepest clause of all. Healing can feel like betrayal. Like if you move forward, you're abandoning the child who suffered. Like happiness means forgetting what you went through. Like thriving dishonors the pain. The clause whispers, if you heal, you erase what happened. Stay in the wound. Stay loyal to the struggle. This is who you are. And so you carry the weight, year after year, believing it's who you are instead of what happened to you. The cost of keeping the contract. I want to speak directly to you now. If you've recognized yourself in any of this, if you've felt that quiet shock of being seen, I want you to know something. This isn't your fault. You didn't choose this contract. You were handed it, in fragments, in moments, in glances and silences and punishments and absences. You signed it because you had to, because it was sign or drown. But I also need you to see what it's costing you. The contract that saved your life as a child may be destroying your life as an adult. The perfectionism that earned you moments of approval is now the voice that says you're never enough, never finished, never allowed to rest. The caretaking that kept your family together is now the pattern that leaves you empty, pouring from a cup that never fills, surrounded by people who take and take, while you wonder why no one ever asks how you're doing. The invisibility that kept you safe from criticism is now the loneliness that eats at you in the dark, the sense that no one really knows you, because you never let them, because you don't even know what you want anymore. The performing that earned applause is now the exhaustion that never ends, the treadmill that only speeds up, the hollow feeling after every win, because it's never enough, it's never enough, it's never enough. The walls you built to protect yourself are now the prison keeping love out, the patterns that push people away right when they get close, the self-fulfilling prophecy that proves everyone leaves. This is the cost. You've been paying it for years, maybe your whole life. And here's the tragedy. The other party, the parent, the caregiver, the universe you made this deal with, they never even knew about the contract. They never agreed to the terms. The in return you were promised, it was never coming. Not because you didn't try hard enough, not because you weren't good enough, but because the deal was impossible from the start. The mansion's sealed room. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your psyche as a grand old mansion, beautiful, complex, full of rooms you've lived in, explored, made your own. Upstairs are the bright rooms, your conscious mind, your daily life, the version of yourself you show the world. But deep in this mansion, down a staircase you stopped using long ago, past a hallway you avoid without knowing why, there's a door. You've walked past it 1,000 times, never opened it. Maybe you forgot it was there. Maybe you sensed something behind it, and that sensing makes you walk faster. The door is old, the lock is rusted, and on it, barely legible, is a sign that says, "Sealed for your protection." Behind that door, The original contract, the promises you made, the terms you agreed to, the beliefs that are still running in the background, pulling levers, flipping switches, controlling your life from the shadows. You sealed that room because what's inside was too painful to feel, too overwhelming for a child to process. But here's what you need to understand. The contract didn't stay in the room. It seeped through the walls, influenced the foundation, ran the wiring of the whole mansion. Every time your heart races and you don't know why, every time you sabotage something good, every time you feel that old familiar fear, that's the contract, humming beneath the floors, still running, still in effect. But here's the beautiful truth. You built that room, and you hold the key. Healing isn't about tearing down the mansion. It's about walking down those stairs with a lantern, with compassion, with your adult self who can now face what the child could not, and renegotiating. How to find your contract. So how do you find a contract you've forgotten you signed? You look for the evidence. The contract may be hidden, but its effects are everywhere. Start by noticing your patterns. Not just what happens to you, but how you respond. Where do you consistently abandon yourself? Where do you shrink, perform, overfunction, disappear? What situations trigger reactions that feel too big for the moment? Ask yourself, what am I really afraid will happen if I stop doing this? If I stop being perfect? If I stop caretaking? If I take up space? If I let someone close, what do I believe will happen? The answer is a thread. Pull it. Beneath the surface fear is the contract. If I stop being perfect, I'll be abandoned. There it is. The perfectionist's contract. If I stop caretaking, everyone will fall apart and leave. There it is. The caretaker's contract. If I take up space, I'll be punished for existing. There, the invisible one's contract. Another way to find it, notice what you can't let yourself have. Is it rest, recognition, deep intimacy, joy without waiting for the other shoe to drop? Whatever you can't seem to let yourself have reveals what the contract says you don't deserve. 4 steps to renegotiate. I'm going to give you 4 steps. These aren't quick fixes. This is deep work. It takes time. It often requires support. But these steps can begin the process of bringing the contract into consciousness, where it can finally be renegotiated. Step 1. Name the contract. Write it down, make it concrete. Use this format. I will, in return, I expect. Let yourself complete those sentences without editing. Whatever comes up, let it come. I will be perfect and never make mistakes. In return, I expect to finally be worthy of love. I will take care of everyone's emotions. In return, I expect to not be abandoned. I will stay small and invisible. In return, I expect to be allowed to exist. Seeing the contract in writing is powerful. It takes what was implicit and makes it explicit. And things lose their power when they're brought into the light. Step 2. Honor the contract's purpose. Before you can release this deal, you have to respect it. That contract wasn't weakness. It wasn't a mistake. It was brilliant. A child facing an impossible situation found a way. They created order from chaos. They found a strategy for survival. Speak to the part of you that wrote the contract, the young one, the scared one. Say, "Thank you. You found a way through. You did what you had to do. You were so brave. You kept me alive. I see what you did for us, and I'm so grateful." This step matters more than you might realize. If you try to just get rid of the contract without honoring it, the part of you that holds it will resist. It will tighten, fight back, because it doesn't feel seen. But when you honor its purpose, something softens, the grip loosens, and space opens for something new. Step 3. Examine the terms with adult eyes. Now, bring your present self to the table. Ask, is this contract still necessary? Is the original threat still present? Does the in return ever actually come? This is where grief often surfaces. You might realize the person you made the contract with was never capable of giving you what you needed, that no amount of perfection, caretaking, shrinking, performing was ever going to earn unconditional love from someone who couldn't give it. The deal was rigged from the start. Let the grief come. It's not a sign you're failing. It's a sign you're seeing, finally seeing what was always true. And on the other side of that grief is freedom. Step 4, write a new contract with yourself. Here's the transformation. The old contract was with them, the parent, the caregiver, the world. The new contract is with you. You're going to take the old terms and rewrite them. One for old. I will be perfect. In return, I expect to be worthy. New. I am worthy exactly as I am. I commit to self-compassion, especially when I make mistakes. I release the need to earn my place. I already belong. Old. I will take care of everyone's emotions. In return, I expect to not be abandoned. New. My worth is not determined by what I do for others. I am allowed to have needs. I am allowed to receive. I commit to caring for myself with the same devotion I give others. Old. I will be invisible and need nothing. In return, I expect to be allowed to exist. New. I have a right to exist fully. I have a right to take up space. I have a right to be seen and known. I commit to showing up as my whole self, even when it's scary. Write your new contract. Sign it. Date it. Read it every morning. Let it seep into the places the old contract lived. Let it become the new code. When you need support, I want to be very honest with you. This is deep work. These contracts were formed in your most vulnerable moments. They're stored in the body, in the nervous system, in memories that don't come with words. Sometimes journaling and awareness aren't enough. Sometimes you need a guide. If you find yourself flooded by emotion that feels uncontrollable, reliving old pain instead of processing it, stuck in the same patterns no matter what you try, feeling numb, disconnected, or like you're watching life from behind glass, please reach out for professional support. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, some of this work is meant to be done in relationship, with a therapist who can hold space for what the child in you couldn't face alone. Modalities particularly suited for this work include internal family systems, or IFS, which works directly with the parts of you that hold these contracts, helping them unburden what they've been carrying for so long. EMDR, which helps the brain reprocess stuck memories, so the past finally feels like the past. Somatic therapies like somatic experiencing, because the contract lives in the body, and sometimes the body needs to release what words cannot reach. Schema therapy, which is specifically designed to identify and transform deep core beliefs. A good therapist is like someone who walks beside you into the sealed room. They hold the lantern while you do the work. They help make it safe to finally see what's been running in the dark. What becomes possible? I want to tell you what's on the other side. When you find the contract, when you honor it, when you grieve it, when you rewrite it, something shifts. You start to catch yourself. In that moment where you'd normally shrink, you pause. You feel the old pull, and you choose differently. Not perfectly, not every time, but more. You start to let things in. A compliment lands instead of bouncing off. Rest becomes possible. Someone offers help, and you actually accept it. The exhausting performance slows. You don't need to earn every moment. You don't need to prove yourself to every person. You don't need to be perfect to deserve love. You just are, and that's enough. The walls come down, slowly. You let someone see you, really see you, and instead of the rejection you braced for, there's connection, real connection. And maybe most importantly, you start to feel like you. Not the performed version, not the contracted version, not the survival version. You, the one who was always there, waiting beneath the terms of the deal, waiting for permission to finally exist. I need you to hear this one more time. The contract you signed wasn't your fault. You were a child. You did what children do. You adapted. You survived. And that survival strategy, it was brilliant. It kept you alive until now, until you were strong enough to see it, until you were ready to rewrite it. The child who made that deal is still inside you. They're not broken, they're not weak, they're brave. They did what they had to do. And now, you can do something for them. You can say, I see you, I love you. You don't have to carry this anymore. I'm here now. I'm strong enough now. Let me take it from here. The forgotten dark psyche isn't your enemy. It's not something to fear or fight. It's something to meet, to understand, to integrate. The shadow becomes lighter when you bring it into the light. If this video reached something in you, if you felt that quiet recognition, that sense of being seen, take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications. There's more to explore together. And in the comments below, I'd love to hear from you. What contract do you think you might have signed? What would your new contract say? Share carefully. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Remember, what I share here is for reflection and self-awareness. It is not a replacement for professional therapy. If you're struggling, if this brought up pain that feels too big to hold alone, please reach out to a qualified mental health professional. You deserve support. You always did. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. Bring light to the shadows. Honor the journey. And remember, you are not your contract. You are not your survival strategies. You are not your wounds. You are the one who survived. And now, you get to live. Thank you for being here. You're not alone.